Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kayla Sierra, hosted by yours truly. I want to start off by saying I know I missed last week's video. School has been really hectic since I am graduating in 3 weeks. So I was like, it's hunker down time, really just focus on my studies and my assignments and things like that. But no worries, be happy. I am here now and I'm super excited about today's video. Firstly, before we begin, I am going to give you guys a tour of my Funko Pops, so let's get started. These are going to be in no particular order because I don't want to spend too much time on this. But firstly, we have Hopeful Heart Bear. She was my first Funko Pop. And then Queen Ramonda from Black Panther, and look at her outfit. She's so cute. I love her so much. Then Princess Tiana and Naveen, and I'm not sure if you can see Naveen in there, but it's the frog version of him. I really want, side note, I really want the big one where it's him and her in that last scene of the movie and like they're dancing. I'll put a picture up of it, but I really want that one. Then we have a raspberry tart from Strawberry and Shortcake, or Strawberry Shortcake, not Strawberry and Shortcake. I am hoping to get strawberry soon, but I have raspberry tart and she's adorable. Then Anthony Bridgerton. If you guys couldn't tell from the last video, the Bridgerton brothers, they just do it for me, but he is here. Then we have Claudine from Monster High and Draculaura from Monster High. I'm waiting to get Frankie. For some reason I can't find her when I go into stores, but she's definitely next. And I am a huge Hamilton fan, so we have Eliza Hamilton and Aaron Burr. I think these are my two favorite characters. I also loved George Washington in the musical, so for sure we'll have to be looking out for him. And Peggy. I love Peggy because she's iconic. And Mulan. Mulan's one of my favorite princesses, so had to have her. And it's the scene with her with the sword. Hold on. She's so cute. I love my Funko Pops, guys. I'm sorry. Next up, we have the Little Mermaid, Ariel. And I had to get Halle Bailey's version because she just killed it playing Ariel. I loved every second of the live action movie. And lastly, we have Elle with Bruiser from Legally Blonde. If you guys are Funko Pop fans as well, please share your Funko Pops. I would love to see them, and of course I'll keep you guys updated on any more that I get. Funko Pops aside, I want to explain really quickly what a trope is. Trope is a plot structure, theme, storyline, character trait, motif, or plot device commonly used in storytelling. Tropes can be found in any form of media, not just books, and I have compiled a list of tropes I love and tropes that I hate, so let's get started. Starting off with some tropes that I love, we have Grumpy versus Sunshine, Found Family, Friends to Lovers, Sports Romance, Marriage of Convenience, and Enemies to Lovers. Grumpy and Sunshine is a very common trope used. An example would be Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. I really like this trope because it's nice to see like that opposites attract sort of thing going on between the characters. And what I've found that people also say is they really enjoy when the roles are switched with this trope. Normally we see the man is very grumpy and he's all, oh, I don't like rainbows and clouds and happiness. And the girl is all, oh my gosh, I love rainbows and clouds and happiness. Hence the sunshine. So seeing like that polar opposite, which in a lot of cases is what reality might be like with, you know, with dating and things. The guy is more laid back and chill and the girl's all a ball of energy. I found that a lot of people enjoy books where the girl is actually grumpy and the guy is more sunshiny and more happy, kind of like that golden retriever trope. Golden retriever guy, and he's very energetic and he's always like, oh, this, do, and she's like, are you good, bro? That's why I love it. I think It's a very good distinction between personalities and showing that you can have different personalities and find love. I'm just gonna say all of these are very commonly used, not just some of them. All of them are pretty popular within the book world. So Friends to Lovers is next. Friends to Lovers is probably my favorite because I think it's one of the sweetest ways to find love. And some examples of that is Powerless by Elsie Silver and Romancing Mr. Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. I actually had a very interesting conversation with an old friend of mine about friends becoming lovers. You know, we hear in the media and people saying how guys and girls can't be friends because obviously one or the other has to have feelings for each other. I don't believe that. I think there is a sweetness to forming a friendship with somebody and knowing them for however long, and then realizing at some point, like, wow, like I really just love the way your eyes sparkle. Or maybe not something so extreme, but that's how I see dating and love. I believe building a friendship is one of the most fundamental things you can do within your relationship, because if you don't get to know them on that sort of level, I think it's hard to then graduate to be like, oh, I love you, when you generally don't know me to the core of me. You've only seen me through love-colored eyes. You've been blinded because you have feelings for me. I think it's important to build a friendship with your partner before that happens. So that's why I love Friends to Lovers. I know I kind of got deep there, but I think it's important. I think it's important to be friends with your partner before you develop that sort of love, romantic love for each other. The trope of sports is probably something I've gotten into more recently. A really good example would be the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy and her Briar U series. Hockey is a very popular sport that we see a lot of books talk about, and it's normally, of course, the guy who's playing hockey. I really enjoy reading cowboy books as well. I don't think I need to get too much in detail about it. If we've all seen sporting events, and so I'll just leave it there. Found family is another favorite trope of mine. Two really good examples of this trope would be A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas and Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. In this trope, the character normally has the family that they are blood related to and that they were born into, and unfortunately that family sometimes doesn't give them the love and the affection and the attention that they seek and that they deserve. They truly deserve, because everybody deserves to be loved by their family. And so they go off on whatever kind of adventure that life has in store for them or the writer wrote for them, and they find these people who probably were the last people on earth they would ever think they would find anything in common with or that they would get along with. And they create such a bond that in many ways is deeper than blood and the DNA that you share with your family. So that's why it's one of my favorites. I love seeing the character transform into this new person because they finally had the support and the love that they really wanted all of their lives within people who probably they saw as enemies originally. That's really what Farrah went through in A Court of Mist and Fury, and also Violet in Fourth Wing. I use found family a lot within my own writing, and if you couldn't tell, I am very, very passionate about it. Marriage of Convenience is exactly what it sounds like. These two characters get married because of whatever circumstances that benefits them to be wed. Terms and Conditions is another example of this. So is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I enjoy this trope because it's truly interesting to see these two people who normally have just met, don't know a thing about each other, or have some sort of relationship, but maybe they're enemies or they're co-workers, and they get married and are trying to prove to everybody that they're in love while also like hating the other person. It's very weird and it's almost toxic, but it's entertaining to watch both characters ultimately fall in love with the other person, and then it kind of works out because it's like we're already married, so we don't have to go through the dating and we be my girlfriend and stuff. But it is cute to see some male characters who ask their significant other to be their girlfriend even though they're already married. It's like, let's just do this right. This is one of those tropes where I would be concerned if one of my friends ever came up to me and was like, oh, I just married this man because he needed this and he's gonna pay me for being his wife or something. I'd be like, you did what? You did what? And then in the same way for me, if someone were to come up to me and be like, oh, marry me because this, that reason, and I'll do this for you, I'd be like, you want me to do what? I don't think it works in reality. Fiction, perfect, but reality, I'd be asking a lot more questions. Be like, you might as well just go ahead and find someone else because I'm not the one. Lastly, for enemies to lovers, this is probably the most overused trope ever. I see it so often, not just in books, but in movies and TV shows. These two people hate each other's guts and they are just rivals in whatever kind of capacity that is. And ultimately, they're like, underneath all those insults I just called you, there's actually something I really like about you. Or something weird. This is one of those tropes that I actually love and hate. What I don't like about this trope is how in some books it's very much they've been enemies for like 75% of the book, and then all of a sudden they're in love and it's sexy time now. That's what I don't like. And then in a lot of cases, enemies go too far, whether that's with the name calling, sometimes there's abuse involved, or even in extreme cases, it's like, I'm gonna go off your loved ones. I can't get behind that. No, that's not I Set the Mouse. It's just not romantic in any way. What I like about this trope is the banter. That's what I want. That's what I like to see, is that nice riffraff off of each other that the characters can have. And a good example of this would be Twisted Hate by Anna Wong, also The Risk by Elle Kennedy. These two books do a really good job on showing this male character and the female character who are at odds with each other and generally have that good banter with each other. And it's not necessarily hate, it's just sometimes it's like we don't get along, or your dad is a rival coach, or anything that can set them apart and they're just going back and forth. We all have those friends, or even those of us who are in relationships, we have banter with the people we love. We have those comments, those snide comments, the sarcasm that we use with them. It just makes the relationship fun. So that's what I love about enemies to lovers. I love watching them go at each other's necks and try and out-annoy the other person. For tropes that I hate, I have miscommunication, cheating, enemies to lovers, damsel in distress, and secret baby. Miscommunication, for some reason, is a popular trope within books and movies. I dislike it for the reason that in most cases, these people are adults. Basic communication and speaking with each other could solve a plethora of issues that these characters come in contact with and they have to deal with, and that honestly make their lives a lot harder than they need it to be, or causes them stress that didn't need to happen because they couldn't just talk to the other person. I don't see the appeal for it. I don't understand why someone would enjoy miscommunicating with somebody to the level to where you're now ignoring them, or a chain of events has now set off within whatever kind of world and you're at a crossroads. Now, I think it's very immature, because we're taught to just talk about your feelings and just explain what's going on. But for some reason in these books, that's what they do. And so we get to sit in however many chapters with, most of the time it's the female character is mad at the male character because she misinterpreted something that he said, or he didn't explain himself in the correct way, which is used actually in The Mistake by L. Kennedy. So now we have the female character mad at him, and he doesn't understand why she's mad. And of course, she's not gonna tell him. She's just gonna ignore him. So it's a trope that's dragged on and on and on. And that's why I say it's overused. Anytime there's miscommunication within a book, I'm very much like, close it and put it away. So that's why I do not like it. For cheating, I think that's all I have to say. Cheating is cheating. You cheat on your partner in whatever case. I don't care what the reason is. You cheated, finished. That's something that's also not needed within films, books, and everything. It shouldn't be glorified how it is. If you cheat on your partner, you're trash. Period. When it comes to damsel in distress, my dislike for it is when the damsel is like so weak and frail that anything she does, she's going to fall apart at the seams. And it's like, we always have to have the man come in. He's always saving her. That's the thing I don't like about this trope. And an example of this would be Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. Even though Bella isn't that sort of damsel, she does find herself in predicaments that's like, Miss Ma'am. She does it to herself, honestly. In some of those scenarios, I can't defend her. She was doing it to herself, honestly. But with damsels in distress, it's generally like the authors or the screenplay writers are trying to put on this front or give this persona of women being weak and needing a man to come save them, which isn't always the case. You can have a damsel in distress who is still fighting and still trying to do things herself. I think Violet in Fourth Wing is a good example of that. There were times when Violet did need saving and Xaden was there to help her out. But what I liked about Violet is, despite her physical limitations, she was always very clear and very strong in saying her iconic quote, "I will not die today." She was truly a survivor, and she pushed through and she made sure that she trained even harder because she knew her weaknesses and she made them into her strengths. That's how damsel in distress should be. You shouldn't write a woman who's just, woe is me, and I can't lift a finger without hurting someone or myself or something like that. I think that's a wrong representation of women, so that's why I don't like it. What I find annoying about Secret Baby is the simple fact of that when it's not a secret anymore, how standoffish the mother normally is for the father to be in the baby's life. It's very much like, okay, you kept it a secret, obviously. I didn't know that I had a child, or we had a child together, and now I'm trying to step up and do my duties as a father, as a dad, and help you raise this child and give you some help. And you're very much putting me in a hard spot where you aren't making it easy for me. Obviously, I don't have a bond with this child, and the mom, in a lot of cases, is just making it difficult for no reason. It's like, you had the baby, obviously. This man is here, and he's being very understanding, even though you have done him very, very wrong. He's being understanding. He's trying not to cross any boundaries that you have. and you're still being difficult, and somehow it's his fault. That's the problem that I have. I haven't read many books or seen this trope in a lot of books actually. One example that I've seen is Reckless by Elsie Silver, which is one of my favorite books. Although I don't consider this to be secret baby, while Winter did keep the identity of her baby's father a secret, she did tell Theo that he was going to be a dad. Although that message did not get relayed to him, that's a whole other story. But that's why I don't think it's necessarily the same thing. I think secret baby is when you have the baby and you don't tell the father. Keeping the identity a secret of like whoever fathered the child, I don't think that's the same thing. These are just a few tropes that I've mentioned. There are so many more out there. I recommend to you, if you don't know what tropes your favorite books are in, to look them up. It really helps you have a deeper understanding of what the story is about and what the characters are going to. So get on Goodreads or go on any other website that you use for your books and find out what tropes your books are in. And just like that, we are at the end of today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and staying tuned. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave any comments down below and share this with all your friends. I have been Kayla Sierra, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!